Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. It's good to see you, and I wish to give an open letter today to Thunderfoot, Iron Ra, DPR Jones, Matt Delonte, David Silverman, Bible Thumping Wingnut, Matthew 14, Eric Hovind, Ray Comfort, Dr. Gary Habermas, R.C. Sproul, Al Muller, John Piper, Live Life 8072, Alex Borton and his friends, and politicians in the UK and America. Also President Obama. I know you think this is crazy. President Obama and David Cameron. So it's an open letter to all of you, and to YouTube. Also to Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, and Dan Barker, and the Roman Catholic Church, to the Pope, to the head of all the evangelicals in America and the UK. So this is an open letter to everybody, really. Basically, I came on YouTube because I'd had a breakdown, and as a broken man I didn't know where to go, so I came on YouTube. And I was really upset by you, Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris, and when Christopher Hitchens was alive, like the kind of demonized language that you were using. Like Dawkins, you were saying, Dr. Dawkins, sorry, you were saying that people, a child abuses if they teach their kids six-day creation, and you said, Sam Harris, that Christians are people who are dangerous if they're fundamentalists. Hitchens said religion poisons everything. And on top of that, on YouTube I was seeing shows running by atheists that were aggressive, getting a Christian onto a show and just beating them up intellectually, and misrepresenting Christianity. And in my brokenness I began to fight these atheists politically. When I was a gospel minister, a preacher of the gospel, completely moved away from what I was all about. I didn't have any self-respect for myself. I was looking for attention because I was hurt, but I also had a genuine desire to critique and attack politically this kind of atheism. As time went on, I'd go up and down. Sometimes I'd be quite depressed and my behaviour would be compulsive, where I'd make lots of videos. But as over time came, I got better and better, and sometimes I would be fine and then I'd get a bit depressed and things like that. And my behaviour was up and down. But being a trained minister who's had a lot of theological training, I did make a lot of good academic videos, as well as many funny, daft, crazy videos. Some atheists realised that I was a golden goose for them, so they began to collect all these videos. And they thought, this is just brilliant, we can use all these videos and show everybody what a nutcase Christianity is. As time went on, I got better and better and began to have a lot of healing in my life, but still a little bit depressed. And over 4 or 5 years I began to gain my self-respect, my dignity, felt I didn't need to get attention from atheists, that I began to go to church and get involved in church again and get involved in missionary work and evangelism. But over that time I'd said some things that were below the belt, accusations against RMRA and non-stamp collector, which was below the belt, and I apologise for that. But in the same time I said a lot of true things. I said a lot of true things about this new atheism that was just underhanded and not fair politically. I also made a lot of good videos as well. Having done that, I then went on a show, Fundamentally Flawed show at the time, to talk to DPR Jones, and I was muted by a guy called Jim Gardner. That meant that I couldn't talk, and DP rounded on me, swore at me, called me a swear word. And I felt that was bullying, aggressive behaviour, and it really upset me, it really got me angry. So eventually I was able to get a debate with DPR Jones. We had a debate, and by this time the Fundamentally Flawed had got a group of atheists had got their fingers into me and saw me as a target, which I didn't want to get involved with, but that's the way they saw it. I had a debate with DPR Jones, and I was accused by New Covenant group of plagiarism and other atheist groups as well. And at that point I felt so isolated because nobody invited me on to give any reply. And so I just thought, I'm leaving YouTube, it's just horrible. You won't even let me answer. So I I rounded on New Covenant group, Alex and Kat and others, and I said some things that I regret because it was in frustration and anger, and I said these things and then I was going to leave YouTube. But then it caused a storm because especially Alex's wife was quite ill, and I said she wasn't ill, but I thought when she said she was ill she'd had a cold, and she was just pretending to be worse than she was. I ended up upsetting her, and to this day I apologise, Kat, I didn't realise how ill you were. But the point is that kicked off another storm, anger, ended up me making a suicide, because I was getting threats to my house, people phoning me up, threatening me, and so I made a video saying I've committed suicide, hoping that people would stop. I pulled it down within an hour, the video, realising it was stupid. Then it was put on an atheist archive channel that they've collected my videos on. People thought I had done something because of this atheist channel that had this archive videos of me. And then an atheist who makes no bones about what he did, Jim Gardner, contacted the police, got involved, the doctor, tried to get me to see the doctor. The doctor said they could section me and all the rest of it. It was terribly traumatic. I was really angry about this. Unbeknown to me, I got a message from Ozzy's wife saying that she didn't agree with this, what was done to me. She said others don't agree with it. And I went on about this for a while. I was also frustrated that I wanted to leave YouTube. I wanted to leave it because it was just toxic for me. It just never seemed to go right, and I wanted to leave YouTube. So I was held back because these atheists set up archive channels, 3 or 4, where they collected my videos. So they've got thousands of videos and they collected them, and I couldn't move on because they got all these videos of mine. So I made a video where I put ketchup on and pleaded to Thunderfoot, please stop them, my heart's bleeding. The ketchup was to remind people that my heart's bleeding, with these archive channels, get them off, I can move on. They uploaded that and made it look as if I was mentally ill and all the rest of it. The atheists were getting angry and upset with me because I was talking about this a lot, so I made a long video. I went like that in a video, Javul, to a guy called Making Explicit. He invited me on to talk to him. I thought he wanted to academic debate. He was swearing at me, and then he accused me of doing a Nazi salute, and it all looked bitter and bad from my end, but I was not, I had no horrible intentions or anything, so it was twisted again. And then recently we had this situation with Richard Raspberry and Brett Keane. I was going to join up with Richard Raspberry. He was saying that people were stalking him. I was talking to him private, that's what I thought. I ended up making a video about it. Was asked to get involved with Brett Keane and Richard Raspberry's show, whether we were going to call it Annex and Atheist. That very same day before the show, in the afternoon, he came to me, said, don't get involved, you don't know who these people are. I took his advice. I went on the show. They sent me a private conversation between Alex and them. They wanted me to commentate on it, and I didn't get commentate on it. By this time I came off the show. Then all hell breaks loose because Fiona says that because of my saying she's been stalking Richard Raspberry, which I was told by him and which I thought from what I'd seen, all hell broke loose. Something happened which I don't endorse. I think it's horrible what happened, and I don't endorse it, and all hell broke loose. And by then I'd made a video called Peace and Love video, and I just wanted to leave YouTube. I didn't know this all hell broke loose, but the point that I'm telling you all this story is it's just got to a point where it's just absolutely over the top, and I just think I haven't got any. I've lost thousands of scholarly videos. I haven't got my 3,000 subscribers that I used to have, that I've lost. I've had threats. I've been tried to be sectioned. I can't do academic debates. I can't do Google Hangouts on things, and it's just impossible to try and function. And I just think that I'm being demonized, and whatever mistakes I've made, I acknowledge. I acknowledge. But I have not spent hours and hours talking about someone's mental health. Live Life and all these atheists have spent, people are fundamentally flawed, left course atheists, wherever, they spent hours and hours and hours talking about my mental health, which is irresponsible. But it makes me look a nutcase because they're making it out that I'm some kind of mental freak. And so when you Google Jason Burns, you see all these videos where either they've invited me on a show to talk about my mental health, or they talk about my mental health. Look, you don't see all the scholarly videos that are still around. You don't see all the scholarly videos that I did that I had to take off because of threats. And I've just been lambasted and demonized. And at the end of the day, I'm not a bad person. I don't mean anybody any harm. I certainly don't endorse anybody trying to go around and threaten anybody, because that's just disgusting. I've never tried to find out anybody's private information. When Jim Gardner tried to get me sectioned, I've not investigated his private life or anything like that. And so I just feel like I'm leaving YouTube, and I just think everybody should just calm down. And I think you as an atheist community, you've got to take responsibility yourself. The atheists are going on about this situation with Fiona. I took that video down, but it was put on the archive channel, the atheist archive channel they have on me, which is stoking up things. So I just feel at the end of the day, I'm a gospel preacher, and I'm happy and I'm joyful. I've gone through a difficult time. My auntie has had 2 operations. I'm really happy. I'm really enjoying life, and I don't want to get involved in this kind of controversy and stuff like that. I just think it's way over the top, and I certainly don't endorse anything that's happened to Fiona. I think whatever's happened, I totally disown. I think it's despicable. But whatever I've said, it's only what I've said, what I've been informed by other people. And you, Fiona, and you atheists out there, some of you, your friends, and many atheists, DPR Jones, Live Life 8072, you, Alex, many of you spent hours and hours talking about my private life, about my mental illness, so-called, which is just depression. Get depressed sometimes, but you spend hours and hours talking about that, and that's irresponsible. And if you were serious and you really thought I was like that, then you wouldn't even talk about me. If you really cared and loved them, then you wouldn't talk about that. So I think all this, at the end of the day, is demonizing me, trying to make me look bad, misrepresenting me. I've got thousands of videos gone, and I just want to get on with my life.